Hey guys, welcome to today's introductory tutorial on how to change default properties of fields in Tableau. Basically, before beginning your analysis, you want to make sure that you are happy with the field settings in terms of aggregation, number formats, field names, and other options that relate to how your fields will be displayed once you bring them into the view. In Tableau, we can easily change the default properties of our dimensions and measures by using the default properties menu. For example, let's say we were interested in looking at the average discount value for each subcategory. We can bring our discount value into columns and subcategories into rows. We can see that by default, Tableau has applied the sum aggregation to our discount, but we can easily change this aggregation using the default properties menu. So if we navigate over to discount, we can see that there's a number of different options that allow us to change the properties of our fields, but the menu that we are interested in is the default properties menu right here. So here are the default properties that we can change for measures. We can add a comment, we can assign a color, we can also change the number format, and here's the option that allows you to choose an aggregation. So like I mentioned before, by default, Tableau will aggregate your data and sum it all up based on the dimensions that you include in your view. By selecting average, I'm changing my aggregation from the sum to an average. So now, if I was to drag in my discount field into my view one more time, I should be able to see the average discount. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to navigate over to sheet 3. I'm just going to clear everything that I have in my view, and I'll bring my discount field one more time. So here we can see that the default aggregation now is the average. Let's bring in our subcategories. We're going to expand our view, and we want to bring in our labels. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate my average discount field by holding Control on my keyboard, drag and drop it into the label marks card. So here we're looking at the average discount for each subcategory. You may notice that the values that we're looking at are actually displayed as a decimal, and in this case we want them to show up as a percentage. So we need to change another default property, which allows us to specify the number format that we want to see for our values. So in this case, we're going to navigate over to Discount, Default Properties. Now we're looking at the number format. There's a couple of different formatting options, and the one that we're interested in is the percentage. So for the percentage, we are going to specify the number of decimal places, which is 1. We'll click OK. And now we can see that our values have updated to show up as a percentage with 1 decimal place. Let's take a look at some of the other default properties that we can set for our measures. If we click on Profit, navigate over to Default Properties, and select Color, we will see a default color palette that Tableau will use for this field if we drag and drop it into the marks card on the color. So here the dark orange represents negative values and a dark blue represents high positive values. We can easily change this default color palette and select another color palette of choice. So here we're going to go with red and green diverging. We're going to click OK. And now if we bring our profit and drag it onto color, we should be able to see the default color palette that we have selected. Okay. We can also see the color legend on the right-hand side that tells us what the colors represent. Let's go ahead and sort our data. So here we can see 2 different subcategories that are essentially non-profitable. The other thing that we can add as a default property for a field is a comment. So for example, we can go ahead and create a comment for our discount field. Since we have changed the aggregation for the discount field to an average, and we have changed the decimal places to convert them to a percentage, we might want to go ahead and give a little description that we've made this change. Okay, so here we're going to create a simple comment. This field shows the average discount as a percentage. Once we click OK, when we hover over this field, we can see a little description that tells us the field that we're working with, the aggregation that has been applied, and the number format that is being used. We can also change the default properties of our dimensions. So here, if we take a look at our category, we'll jump over to default properties, and there's 4 things that you can set as a default property for a dimension or a discrete field. Once again, we can create a little description of what the field actually represents by choosing the comment. We can also set the color. This will be a discrete color. We can specify the shape. So for example, if you're creating a scatter plot and you want to represent your data points by a circle versus a square or any custom shape, you can go ahead and choose that particular shape and set it as a default property. We can also choose to sort our information in a particular order, so alphabetical order, or even based on some field that we have in the view, such as the average discount. If you guys want to learn different ways in which you can sort your data in Tableau, please go ahead and watch our tutorial on sorting. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to our channel for more Tableau tutorials.